Because it's so important, breakfast.
I'm so jealous.
I am too, actually. So it's a small lunch.
Huevo.
Okay, I like you. Hi.
Usually in France, we eat sweet stuff, rarely like salty, like ham and stuff like this. Most of the time, it's like croissant, pain au chocolat, toast with jam, stuff like that. Cereals, also a lot. This is just a typical weekday breakfast, but sometimes on the weekend, we can have like something like a brunch where we add like salty stuff, but typically we only eat sweet stuff.
I think in Italian it's really similar. Typical is just sweet. There are some people that, of course, can eat the salty breakfast, but mostly coffee for sure.
Oh yes, coffee.
The Italian most typical one is cappuccino and cornetto, that is croissant. So we have a similar pastry. Yeah, if you eat at home, it's more cereals, or we have a kind of like crunchy bread. It's not real bread, but kind of dry bread that is called fetta biscottata. That is a kind of bread, but a biscuit, but it's not sweet, kind of blend of flavor. And then you put jam or Nutella or whatever you prefer on it. But yeah, mostly not salty. But
I think in Argentina it's similar, but at the same time it's a bit more varied. We have coffee, or we have a traditional tea called mate. And we can have pastries or like toast with jam and butter. We also have something called dulce de leche, which is like a sweet caramel jam that we also put on toast, or like a ham and cheese sandwich, or like toast only with butter, or just bread or cereal. Everything bread, I think. Yeah. I think for us, similar with Spain, we eat lunch and dinner very late. Breakfast is like whenever you wake up, I guess. Lunch can be from like 12 to 4, and then you have like a merienda, tea time, and then dinner is very late at night, from like 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m.
Yeah, it's the same. Maybe lunch we have 12 to 1, so the breakfast is kind of like super important because you have to arrive at lunchtime. Breakfast is whenever you wake up. If you work, you do it earlier. If you don't work and you study, you still do it maybe at 9 or 10. Not too late, otherwise it's already lunchtime.
Yes, the same for us. Whenever we wake up, we eat. If we have work, before work. If we don't, then we eat a little bit later. There is no like time really fixed.
Most of the people having breakfast, and I do it also in Italy. My dad, I remember, wake up at 5:30 or 6 because it's so important, breakfast. In our culture, I think, breakfast is essential. You cannot skip it. Otherwise, doctors are saying you cannot skip it. Like, you have to eat something for breakfast time.
At least in Argentina, it's a bit more common to just eat on the street or like eat on public transportation. Whereas like maybe if you wake up, you're running to work, you take like a sandwich with you and you eat it on the way or something. But yeah, you definitely eat something.
Not on the way. Definitely not on the way in France. But so if we get something on the way, we just wait until we get to work or to school, wherever, to eat it quickly, but not on the way. And yes, we have to eat breakfast. We cannot skip it.
Otherwise, during work, I still have like a bowl in my family. I will also try to drink something. Orange juice, in Italian we say succo d'arancia. It's really common. Drink it for breakfast, like most of the people. I think it's really common. Mostly kids, of course, Nutella with the fette biscottate, the bread I mentioned before. The salty things, we mainly eat it for lunch or dinner, not for breakfast. So also salad, maybe it's more common for lunch. I personally like to eat fruit also in the morning with yogurt, or like mix it with granola or like something healthy. How do you call the orange juice in your languages?
In Spanish, we say jugo de naranja. Quite similar.
And we say jus d'orange.
Fancy.
Very fancy juice.
In France, we say pain. What we eat at every meal. We eat it for breakfast, for lunch. I mean, not croissant, obviously, but like bread in general. We always have to have bread for every meal. Even in the morning, like here we have like toast and like sweet bread, but in the morning we also eat baguettes with like jam and butter.
How common is it to eat croissants?
To be honest, not that common. I mean, it is common, but it's not like every day like people might think. So we can have this for goûter, which is tea time in the afternoon. When I was finishing school, my mom would go to the bakery before picking me up, buy this. Mostly something we would eat in the afternoon, but sometimes during the weekend, our parents would like wake up and go to the bakery and get croissant for the morning. Let's say Sunday morning breakfast.
Because in Argentina, we eat this a lot. We call it media luna, like half moon. And it's a bit different because this croissant, it's like dry on the outside. But in Argentina, they put like a sweet syrup on top of it. So it's like soft all the way around. And it's like the main pastry that we eat also. It's the same thing, same recipe. It's just that when it's done, they put the syrup over it so that it doesn't get like crunchy on the outside. So in Argentina, we also eat cheese a lot and we call it queso. And we have different types of cheese. We usually do like something called a picada with like different types of cheeses, snack on it. How do you call it in your languages?
Formaggio is like the family name of cheese. And then, yeah, we have different types. This specifically, Parmigiano Reggiano, the best cheese in the world. I highly recommend.
For us in French, we say fromage. And then we have so many kinds also. Not really something we usually eat in the morning. I mean, some people do, obviously, but...
How about this? We usually call this jamón, and this one specifically, it's called jamón crudo, which means raw ham. And we don't eat this for breakfast because it's very expensive in Argentina, because it's usually like imported from Spain or like Italy. But we do eat regular ham for breakfast, like ham and cheese sandwich or something like that. How about you?
We produce it, so it's less expensive than the imported one, of course. We say prosciutto, and this kind is prosciutto crudo. And then we have salame, a lot of types. Since I live in the city where it's produced, there is not one day that is not present in my refrigerator in my hometown.
I'm so jealous.
I am too, actually.
But you have a lot of cheese as well.
Yeah. We have like so many kinds. In French, we say jambon. And just like in Argentina, we say jambon cru, which is raw ham.
This is butter. In Argentina, we call this manteca.
Is it Argentinian Spanish?
I think it's just Spanish in general. Manteca or mantequilla. What about you guys?
In Italian, we say burro. That in Spanish maybe is something like completely different.
Yeah, burro in Spanish is donkey.
Yeah.
And in French, we say beurre with bread, with jam, for baking, cooking also. We cook a lot with butter.
You said already you don't eat like salads and this kind of thing in the morning. Maybe for brunch?
For brunch, basically, you can eat whatever you want. Usually, you just mix whatever you eat for breakfast and what you would eat for lunch, and bam, brunch.
And how you say like salad in French?
In French, we say salade.
Oh, so it's same. We say insalata.
We say ensalada.
Chicken, in Italian, we say pollo.
Spanish, I think it's the same, right?
Pollo. I mean, it's pollo, but in my accent, we say pollo.
Oh, okay, there is a different.
Yeah.
And in French, we say poulet.
This is cute.
I find it cute too, like poulet.
In Argentina, we also like don't eat salad for breakfast. I think it's quite common to eat like leftovers for breakfast. So if you have like pizza in the fridge, you would maybe eat pizza. This like type of chicken that's like fried on the outside, like chicken cutlet, is very common in Argentina. We call it milanesa. It's very, very common to eat this. So maybe like your mom would make so many of them for dinner, and then they're left in the fridge, and then you wake up and you like take one from the fridge and eat it for breakfast.
Yeah, we have a cotoletta alla milanese. That is a type of like cooking that. But also funny because we say pollo, but like small chicken is polletto. That is similar to French. In Italy, it's pretty the same. Caffè.
We say café.
We also say café.
In Korea, cafe is the place where you drink coffee. Also because the cafe in Italy is bar.
It's not cafeteria.
It's also cafeteria, but common people they say, I'm going to bar to drink a coffee. It's also different, the style we drink coffee. Here, maybe it's more like you go with friends or also alone to study, and then you stay for ages in a cafe. But in Italy, it's more, you really want a coffee. So before going to work, also like in the middle between two appointments, you go to the bar or cafeteria and then you drink fast at counter, like standing, you drink and you go.
We kind of have the same thing, those cafes where you still have the counter, which is quite high. You just order like an espresso. You can take a little bit of time, like maybe 15, 20 minutes to drink it, just enjoy, and then you leave. You're not like sitting in the cafe for I don't know how many hours. Obviously now there's like Starbucks and those kind of cafes too in France. So obviously there people go for studying or whatever. The original cafes, I think it's the same with Italy. How about in Argentina? Do you have something similar?
I think in Argentina, it's not common to go to a coffee shop for breakfast. Or you go, you buy a coffee and you take it on the way to work. We do have coffee shops, but it's like for tea time where you go like with your friends to like meet up and chat. But we have a lot of very good instant coffee. Colombia and Ecuador, they have very good coffee, instant coffee that you have at home and you would usually make. We call it café con leche, which is coffee with milk. It's not that common to drink straight black coffee like this. We would usually mix it with milk.
And also, I don't know in your countries, but if you stay in a cafe to drink something for more than an hour, the same as like other places like restaurants and whatever. Restaurants, it's a bit longer, but in cafe especially, if you stay more than 1 hour and you don't order something else, they maybe ask you, do you want something else? And it means, do you order something or you're gonna go like soon?
I think it depends on the places. Obviously in Paris, in the center of the city, they want you to leave as soon as possible if you're not ordering. But if you're in a small like cafe or coffee shop in another city, like somewhere in the countryside, usually they're more chill about it. Yeah, it depends on the places, but usually, yeah.
But restaurants, I feel like compared to Korea, because in Korea, people eat fast and go. For us, when you go to a restaurant, you get your food, like you're chatting, you're eating slowly. The food takes a long time to come.
Yeah.
When you're done eating, maybe you will have coffee and dessert in the same restaurant.
You said you have a lot of instant coffee, and do you also drink like Cano or long coffees, or is more common another type?
Black coffee. I mean, nowadays with Starbucks going everywhere, like younger generations, they're used to having their like cafe latte, caramel macchiato, whatever, like about my generation or my parents' generation. And usually just black coffee.
For us, I think it's usually coffee with milk or just plain black coffee.
So like long coffee like this?
Yeah, like this. Not espresso.
What about ice?
No ice.
Okay, okay. I like you.
I feel like with Italy, France also has the similar cafe. When you go there, you have 3 types of like cafe. You have like espresso, allongé, like the long espresso. Yeah. That's it. We don't have, I don't know, ice, cafe latte, ice, something. We don't.
Same.
So how do you say milk?
Argentina, and in Spanish we say leche.
In Italian we say latte.
And in French we say lait.
Do you usually drink like just plain milk?
When I was younger with cereals, and then growing up, I think I'm more a yogurt type of person.
Yeah, yogurt. Same.
But it's really common. Fresh milk is always in every home in Italy, I think.
We always have like at least 1 or 2 bottles of milk in the fridge. And how about in Argentina?
I think in Argentina it's also common to give kids a glass of milk to be like, it helps you grow. But I never liked it, so I never drank it. But yeah, as you're an adult, it's yogurt I think is more common, or like you put it in coffee or for cooking. But we also usually always have milk in the house.
What about fruits? How do you say fruit?
Fruit.
Fruta.
Frutta, same. But you have 1 tea, you have double tea. Also, my father always said, also fruit for breakfast is good. I think it's kind of common in Italy to eat fruit.
Yeah, I think so too in France. Like personally, no, I don't really eat fruits for breakfast. But my dad used to eat bananas for breakfast, apples, always.
Actually, it's every meal we eat fruit. My parents taught me at least 1 fruit for a meal.
But when I lived in Argentina, especially apples, oranges, and bananas are very cheap. So it's very common that you buy them every time you go grocery shopping and you just have them in the house. So it's like you have a bowl of fruit out on the table. For breakfast, you can eat them. If you see them and you want them, you eat them. Or maybe if you finish a meal, you have a fruit after, because it's just common to have them. So you kind of eat them just because they're there.
In French, we say raisin.
In Italian, we say uva.
In Spanish, we also say uva.
It's like, how do you say eggs?
Huevo.
Oh, sorry.
Uva, uova.
Uova. So it's like female. Egg.
Yeah.
Because for us, it's male. Huevo.
Oh, yeah, right. And then apple, we say mela.
We say manzana.
We say pomme.
That's so different.
Yeah, orange, arancia.
Orange.
Naranja.
And we have this one, the strawberry jam.
It's really typical. Bread, butter, and the jam. More than bread, there is no translation, but it's kind of dry bread.
Isn't it like a rusk? Because I think we have the same biscuit.
Fette biscottate.
I think it's the same,
It's
but...
the same. So we use that one for breakfast.
So how do you say jam?
Marmellata.
We say mermelada.
We say confiture.
But it's actually more accurate because we have marmellata and confettura. Different type of fruits is called in one way or another.
Oh.
So yours, I think, is more accurate.
How do you say strawberry?
And in French we say fraise.
We have a similar one. We say fresa or frutilla. We say desayuno.
Is it a complete word?
Yes, so it's like ayuno means to fast. Des means like not, break. Fast is the same thing. Desayuno.
In Italian we say colazione.
Because we have like goûter, which is the tea time, but we also say collation.
Oh,
But it's for the afternoon, yeah. It's like a small snack.
Yeah, we also say colación and it has the same meaning.
No, we say spuntino, like a little break.
Interesting. And for breakfast in French, we say petit déjeuner. Petit is small, and déjeuner is lunch. Petit déjeuner. So it's a small lunch. In French, we say je mange le petit déjeuner.
In Italian we say mangio la colazione.
In Spanish, the word breakfast is a verb. So you can say I breakfast, yo desayuno, or you can say I eat breakfast, yo como el desayuno.
Oh, we actually do the same. Faccio colazione. I do breakfast. I forgot.
We have some similars too, like salad. With bread, we all say pan, right?
Yeah, not that different. And maybe also how we do breakfast is really similar since we're close and we
Yeah.
have the same like.
I mean, we're not too close with
Not
Argentina.
close, but culturally close.
Yeah. Today we compare the word at the breakfast table.
If you like the video, please like and subscribe and comment below.
See you next time. Bye.